Hi everyone, welcome all of you to our YouTube channel. Today in this tutorial, I will explain you about dual axis charts in Microsoft Excel. It's a fantastic way to visually represent two very different data sets in the same chart. Before we dive deep into today's tutorial, if you still haven't subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button and do not forget to hit the bell notification icon as well. That way, you won't miss any updates from us. Now let's see what we have for today's tutorial. Imagine you own some kind of a retail store and you want to understand how the revenue of your store varies with the number of units sold with time, right? So you have 6 months of sales data here. We have the revenue figures in dollars and the units sold. We can understand these patterns between the revenue figures and the number of units sold easily using a dual axis chart. Before I go there, let me explain what will happen if you try to visualize this data in a typical chart, typical y-axis chart. Now the thing is, here if you can see, revenue figures are in dollars and the units sold are in units, right? So the scales of these figures are very different. If you can see in column C, number of units sold are always in hundreds. In fact, the maximum value in this range is 530. While in the revenue column, you can see all the values are above 5,000 actually. I think all the values are about 7,000. So the scales are very different. It's like they are in two different worlds. So if you try to congest these two series into a typical y-axis chart, it will not be practical. It will be very hard to identify any patterns that is going on in the data. Well, let me show you how that will work. Okay. So now first I will select the data. Now what we are trying to do is we are trying to plot a simple y-axis chart to this data. I'm going to insert tab. I will hit recommended chart. The insert chart dialog box comes up and Excel recommends, I would say very good chart suggestions. We have a line chart, we have bar charts, and we have some area charts. From these I will prefer to use a line chart. I will hit OK, and now we have our chart. Here our problem is, you can see now since the two data sets are in very different scales, you can see the units sold values are pretty much horizontal. It's like they never changed for this past 6 months. But if you go to the revenue line here, it's a very good indicator of how the revenue is trending for the past 6 months. There are ups and there are obvious downs as well. Now, how can we bring these two into a kind of a similar scale and visually represent what is happening in the data? That is when the dual axis chart comes in. In order to convert this typical chart into a dual axis chart, what we can do is first select the chart, go to the change chart type option. In this dialog box, in the very bottom of this left sidebar, you can see the combo charts option. Click on the combo charts. Now it gives you a chart that is kind of a combination of two types of charts, right? In this case, the default is we have a bar chart as well as a line chart. And in the series name section and in this section, you can see for revenue, they have used a clustered column, and for the units sold, default is the line chart. What I would like to do is I would like to use a line chart for the revenue and a simple bar chart for the number of units sold. Now you can see number of units sold are demonstrated in bars, whereas the revenue figures are indicated in a line chart. Still, our problem is not solved, right? See, still it does not give us the clear picture of what is happening in the data. The reason is still it's a simple one axis chart, a y-axis chart. In order to make this a dual axis chart, what you need to do is you need to specify the secondary axis here. In this bottom section of this dialog box, you can see choose the chart type and axis for your data series. In this case, we have completed picking the chart types for each series, and now we have to specify the secondary axis. In this case, I will prefer to use the units sold as the secondary axis. And keep in mind, there's no rule when it comes to picking the secondary axis. It's totally up to your preference. In my case, I'd prefer to have units sold as my secondary axis. I will tick this. Now you can see it clearly shows how the revenue figures are kind of correlated with the number of units sold in each month. I will hit OK. Now here in this dual axis chart, you can get a very clear idea as to how the revenue is trending with number of units sold. In fact, in this chart, you can see in this particular case, it's a very straightforward insight. Statistically speaking, in this case, we have a positive correlation between the two fields. When the number of units sold increases, the revenue also increases for each month, right? Cool. I'd like to make small changes to the chart formatting as well. We'll name it as monthly sales performance, and I will change the title font to Aptos. I will make it bold, and I'd like these units sold bars to have a different color, something similar to blue. So let me see. Yeah, I'll go with this. Cool. Now we have added some very basic formattings to our dual axis chart as well. That is how you can fit two very different datasets on very different scales into one single chart so that you can draw very valuable insights from that. Cool. Now we have come to the end of today's tutorial. I have mentioned the link to the exercise files related to this video in the description so that you can download those files and try these techniques by yourself. And smash that like button, share the video among your friends as well. And if you still haven't subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button and do not forget to hit the bell notification icon as well. That way you won't miss any updates from us. Thank you so much for watching this video until the very end. See you again with another useful video like this. Until then, take care.